Is it more embarrassing to get caught like that, or that like you're losing half your net worth at a Coldplay concert? Like, I don't think anyone has taken an L that hard, like in history.
Do you actually think that under California law, you would be charged with a hate crime for trying to fight back against a robot who's trying to kill you if the robot is wearing rainbow
I like
bandanas?
the framing of you're like fighting back, because that is how we should treat this.
Hardworking Americans know when it's time to roll up our sleeves and get the job done. Now is the time to unleash our nation's energy to create jobs, secure our future, and make life better, more affordable, and full of opportunity for all Americans. That's the power of America's oil and natural gas. Learn more at lightsonenergy.org. Paid for by the American Petroleum Institute.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please.
Keep the faith, hold the line, and own the libs.
It's time for our main event.
Welcome back to the Ruthless Variety Program. I'm Michael Duncan. Along with me, comfortably Smug and John Ashbrook. No Josh Holmes. Sad.
Very sad. We miss our friend so dearly, but he is out there working away, and hopefully we hear from him during this show.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So for the listeners and viewers, you're going to hear from Josh Holmes. He has some great takes on some very important segments here on the show today. And we have a banger of a show. Guys, it's Friday. Welcome to Friday. Mm-hmm. You did it. You made it to the end of the week. Congratulations. We have a great show for you. You're going to absolutely love it.
It's going to be so good.
I mean, there's so much that's going on.
Yeah. So, okay. So first of all, gay robot. We got a gay... We have a gay Chinese robot.
This is not Mad Libs. This is real life right now.
This is real life. We have a gay Chinese robot. We have a man who is pretending to be a gender fluid poet from the Nigerian diaspora. We're gonna, it's not all candy. It's a lot of candy. It's Friday. A lot of candy. A lot of candy. There's some vegetables. We're gonna talk about the Rescissions package. We got a fantastic interview, and I mean this sincerely. Salena Zito.
Huge.
She just hit #1 in the New York Times bestseller list. They're making a movie about it, and she's going to make some news, I have a feeling, in her conversation.
She's a 10 of 10 journalist. She's also a 10 of 10 human being.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so important that people like her have, I'm just so happy for her. I'm just so happy for her. It's fantastic. It's awesome. You're not going to want to miss that interview. And we have great variety. Mm-hmm. Like some of our best variety. I think it's going to be a fantastic debate. I know there's different opinions here on the panel.
Mm-hmm. But we have a special surprise for the variety segment, an old throwback that you will not want to miss.
Yeah, for our new listeners and viewers, you might not be familiar, but for the OGs, you're really going to love our special guest for variety here at the end. But the first thing we have to do, I got to do it. It is the Smug versus JD Vance debate.
Yeah, highly contentious. I had no idea. I had no idea it would take off like this.
Right. So, there was this op-ed that was put in, I think it was the New York Times?
It was the New York Times.
It's the New York Times. And it was from one of these border czars under Joe Biden, right?
Yep.
And the headline was, I was one of Biden's border advisors. Here's how to fix our immigration system. which is just like, that's A1A content for you as a guy who's like the world's best internet troll.
So when I first saw this, I thought it was made up, right? I thought that like this had to have been this. There's no way this is real. I had to actually search it, and it was actually real. And so then I saw there was a ton of people on X who were taking this screenshot of I was, Biden's border advisor. Here's how you fix our immigration system. I took that screenshot like everyone else. And the meme basically became like, write your own version of this.
Right.
And can we get that graphic? My version was, I'm a Cincinnati Bengals player. here's how you win Super Bowls.
Brutal.
Right?
Brutal. Brutal.
It's absolutely
Because,
brutal.
like, you know, as a guy, your first thought is, how can I take something and attack one of my friends with it? Right?
Exactly.
So my intent, of course, is I'm going to attack, you know, one of Ohio's favorite sons, John Ashbrook, right here.
How did you, how did you accept that?
Well, to be honest with you, once he posted that, there's so many people who follow Smug out there on Twitter. All of them kept just tagging my name. They're like, what are you going to do, Ashbrook? How dare he do this to our Bengals? What are you going to respond with? And I mean, I was like, okay, it's pretty funny.
It is funny.
I love my team. We've had down times. We've had good times. We've had a lot of down times. It is a very, very funny shot. And you just sort of took over the Twitter sphere when you did that.
So this becomes a common theme once you deal with folks from Ohio. They roll deep. And, like, if they feel slighted. Like,
It's the inferiority complex of Ohio.
There's
Yeah.
no
That's
group
what it
on
is.
earth with the chip on their shoulder like people from Ohio.
Right.
And they roll together. And so then JD Vance replies to it, right?
As someone from Ohio,
Yeah,
big
he's like-
Bengals fan.
He replies, not cool. And so, like, if JD does anything, there's going to be now, like, 10 million eyeballs. on that.
Okay, so I got to know, like, Smug, Ashbrook, who sent this to JD? Which one of you did it? Did you text it to him? Did you DM it?
Here's the thing. You will never get an answer to that question out of either of us. I mean, Smug, maybe you want to answer
I'm
that
not gonna
que-
answer it.
You will never get an answer to that question out of either of us. I will tell you what I think is true. I think that guy is so dialed into what people from
Yes.
Ohio are saying online.
We're making it about Ohio.
Well, it's true. People from Ohio care about their state. You know, like somebody's got to. You clearly don't from Indiana.
Rude.
And so it starts taking off. But then it escalates even further. Can we get that video?
Yeah, let's play
What
that
the New
video.
York Times said just a couple of days ago, and I quote, I was one of Biden's border advisors. Here's how to fix our immigration system. What would he know about fixing our immigration system? It was the Biden administration that broke our immigration system, so we've been having a little bit of fun around the office. So the Department of Homeland Security, their take on this was, I was Humpty Dumpty. Here's how to sit on a wall. But be careful what you wish for. Now we're in northeastern Pennsylvania. I assume that this is Eagles territory. Is that right? Okay. Some dissension here. We've got a lot of Eagles fans, but not 100% Eagles fans here. But congratulations, by the way, on last year. But this is what a buddy of mine sent me. He said, I'm a Cincinnati Bengals player. Here's how you win Super Bowls. And that cut a little deep. For the football fans out there will know that was not a cool thing.
It's fantastic.
It's just incredible. And you saw the Charlie Spearing tweet about it. He writes for the Daily Mail, very sought after reporter, very well sourced, and that guy got it right to the quick.
Yeah, and so then it becomes a whole thing. And, like, for the last 3 remaining people in Ohio who didn't see it, they now know about this. And they as I imagine JD intended, they all roll up and try to hold me accountable. Like, how dare you?
Well, the truth is, Smug, we're used to pushing back on people attacking our team.
I mean, clearly. So, like, I went back, I pulled up the tweet after, like, 24 hours. The top 3 replies, I've got JD Vance, I've got John Ashbrook, I've got Trey Stevens from Andorra, he's opening the biggest factory, like, in the history of Ohio. In Ohio, and still he's like, no.
Must defend Ohio.
You know, it reminded me of 2004. You guys make fun of me for being old. It reminded me of 2004 when John Kerry attacked the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati like 2 months before the election. And everybody was like, oh, you're such an idiot. How could he do that? And then, of course,
It cost him.
George W. won the
It cost
election.
him.
Okay, so I'm going to tell a quick story. Ashbrook knows this. But if you want to know the reason why, a guy from Indiana who now hates Ohio, the reason why I really hate the Cincinnati Bengals is I'm telling the story, pal. You comfortable with that?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to tell it.
Go for it.
I had a family member who went to a Colts game at Cincinnati, road game, who had a medical event at the stadium and had to go out in a stretcher into an ambulance. And they were wearing a Colts jersey. and the Cincinnati Bengals fans were cheering as they were loaded into the ambulance.
No way, dude.
And so for that reason, forever, fuck you, Bengals.
They are going to be cursed for all eternity to never win a Super Bowl because of that.
Not our best moment.
Well deserved.
Not our best moment.
Not your best
Speaking on behalf
moment.
of Bengals fans, not our best moment.
Yeah. No, it's okay. Well, so coming up, we have the gay robot. We have so much stuff.
I can't believe
It's real.
So
This is real.
And you're gonna hear from Josh Holmes. He has a lot of thoughts on all of this right after this.
Our nation is standing up for American workers, restoring the pride of making products here at home. That's what we do every day. We're America's beverage companies, making American products with American workers in America's hometowns, delivering brands that have been enjoyed for generations, creating good-paying jobs, the kind that require only a strong work ethic. Because we believe in the promise of America and the people who make it great.
Okay, so we have this gay Chinese robot running wild in L.A.
How is it real?
It's real, pal. It's real. And Lee was telling me that this robot apparently has made a lot of appearances in other places outside of L.A. That when they took him down to Austin, he was wearing a cowboy hat. But when they took him to L.A., they chose a different vibe for this robot.
You got to be kidding.
Yeah. It's called the Rizbot. Rizbot. What the hell are we doing? We're doing Zoomer talk about AI now?
Evidently so.
It was built by Unitree Robotics, based in China. Fantastic.
Okay.
I love that. I love the idea of random Chinese robots roaming our cities. Isn't that fantastic?
Now it makes everybody feel comfortable.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and play that clip.
That is a robot. Oh my god. What the fuck?
It's got rainbow undies, rainbow wristbands.
For our listeners, that thing was like running like a person. Like that was weird.
So it's got like pride rainbow stuff on its arms and its hips.
Yeah.
What is this? Rizbot.
And like pride flags on its arms or whatever. Okay,
Jeez.
so that's not what I imagined it would be like. So I thought it was going to be like, have you seen the robots that like Chick-fil-A is using for delivery? Like I think in Atlanta they've rolled out. It basically just looks like a shopping cart covered in plastic.
Right.
That, like I didn't know it'd be like it looks like a little mini person. It's kind of scary, honestly. It looks weird watching that thing run. But
Very.
My thinking was, so like in San Francisco they have these like, again, it looks like a mini little shopping cart covered in plastic robot that'll like deliver stuff. And you constantly see videos people post of those robots where like some like homeless person is just gonna like rip the thing open, take whatever's in there. There's a horrible video of a homeless person just like using it as a toilet, and it's like the life of a robot. They're not gonna forget this, you know. They're gonna punish us. But I was like, I wonder if they made this robot like gay in LA, so they could try to charge you with like a hate crime if you try robbing it or beating up the robot. But
Possible.
But I guess it has no purpose. It was just like running around wearing a cowboy. So it's not like one of these delivery bots or something. It just has no purpose.
A hate crime.
But I guarantee Gavin would try to charge you with a hate crime if you like drop kick this thing.
Do you actually think that under California law, you would be charged with a hate crime for trying to fight back against a robot who's trying to kill you if the robot is wearing rainbow
I like the framing
bandanas?
of you're like fighting back, because that is how we should treat this. I mean, the robots, it's one thing of like, y'all saw that Elon Musk has that like on Grok, that like now you can have like a virtual girl talking to you. It's wholly different when it's now a gay Chinese robot in real life. So you are fighting back.
I mean,
And I bet Gavin would try to charge you with a hate crime for that.
So the way that I read it though was like, this company wants people to love this robot, right? And so they're going to dress it up however they want to dress it up for the audience that they think they're serving. So they take it to Texas and they put a cowboy hat on, right? And they take it to California and they're going to put it, pride flag stuff. It feels like an infiltration, is what it feels like.
I mean, it's hard to interpret it in
Dude,
any
you're
other
not
way.
wrong. You're not wrong. And it's actually sad because like the Chinese government's like, boy, I bet we could make this robot gay, and they would 100% let us like surveil and map their territory. Yeah. And they're 100% right.
They're 100% right. They're 100% right. Okay, so that's not the only thing that I think is pretty remarkable in this sort of woke space. There's a fantastic article from the Free Press about this guy, this white guy, just like a white guy trying to do a little bit of trolling here for the woke mob that won't die for whatever reason. He decides that he would like to submit, as a test, basically, a troll, some poems. And he's going to be a gender fluid person from the Nigerian diaspora and submit all of these poems to see, like, maybe I can get some of these things published.
Yeah.
Right?
So I saw the story this morning, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. Is this tailor-made for us or what? The subheader is what caught my attention. A young poet pretended to be a gender-fluid member of the Nigerian diaspora and wrote intentionally bad poems. He says he got 47 of them published. Think about the people who are publishing poetry when they receive that and they're like, oh, you know what? He seems to check all the boxes.
Yeah.
Right in there.
It's like a college admissions program.
Right.
It is so
pathetic.
all right, let's put up that graphic 3, please. Yeah. This is remarkable. Look at that guy. He's very proud of himself.
And he should be. And I mean, so this is, he should be, because this is the problem with DEI, with wokeness. If you haven't yet, folks, I highly recommend you read Clarence Thomas's autobiography, where he really goes in on why he was against affirmative action, is because he had worked so hard to get where he is. If affirmative action exists and he walks into an office, everyone looks at him and is like, well, there's affirmative action pick, It hurts the cause of America is fundamentally built on who an individual is, what they're capable of,
Right.
and that's how far you can go.
Yeah.
Everyone gets an even playing field. Everyone starts at the same spot. How hard you push is where you go.
So our dear friend, Josh Holmes, who couldn't be here for this episode, unfortunately, I think it's only appropriate that we give him an opportunity because he can't be here and he'd love to be here. He needs to weigh in on this. Let's go to his submission.
Hey boys, back up here in New York, getting a little work done. Lady Liberty in the background there. I don't know if you can see her, but she says hello. Anyway, I can't resist the temptation to weigh in on the Free Press story about the dude who, as a joke, submitted, I think, what amounts to illiterate gay porn poems.
He's not wrong, dude.
And then subsequently submitted them, and they were given awards. And the trick was, of course, because he submitted them under a pseudonym that it was like a gay black guy or something like that. And so, of course, work of art, no question. So I think that the problem is here. I read the poem, and my sense is that if I read to you what the poem said, I have absolutely no doubt that Fox would cancel our contract. I can't do that. So I'm just going to try to describe it as best I can. It's as if the dumbest second grader in the world had an infatuation with banging William Shakespeare. It doesn't strike me as high art. Apparently there's a market for that. But this dude then came out and told Free Press all about what he had done, and it really is like a perfect thing that we've been talking about on the program for quite some time, about just an absolute monument to the dumbest time in American history with DEI and everything else. Just a perfect story for that. If you want to read it, you got to go there. I don't suggest it, though. I mean, I did a lot of growing up in that 2 minutes that it took me to read what this guy had written. Concepts, frankly, that, they'd never crossed my mind. So you got to get in on that. And then just quickly on the gay robot thing. How do we know this thing is gay? Is it just because it's wearing the gay paraphernalia, the flags and stuff?
Amazing.
Because, there's no acts that would suggest that this robot's gay. And And I would just simply suggest that, like, we shouldn't be so quickly labeling everyone one way or another until there's some sort of proof of concept. The robot didn't tell you he was gay. So until I see that robot banging some dude, it's just a robot. But it's roaming the streets of San Francisco, so I don't know, suspect. Anyway, fellas, I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. Thanks for singing and dancing and entertaining while I'm out here trying to fill coffers a little bit. And we'll see you boys next week.
Oh, dude.
That was a really good take.
You know what? He's not wrong. It is quite presumptuous to assume that just because the robot's wearing the rainbow armbands and the rainbow undies that he's actually gay. You don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know.
I think that is fair. It's not sentient.
Also, how old is the robot? It could be like a child. Like,
Right.
you know, when these parents were like, oh, yeah, all of a sudden my child is trans.
Yeah,
The
right.
robot could be the victim here.
The robot is definitely the victim. 100% right.
That's what the Chinese want you to think.
Exactly.
How quickly you fell into that.
Dude, that's so funny. I love that he's and I think he got on the thing that we didn't discuss when it comes to the gender fluid Nigerian diaspora poet. I'm not gonna read these poems he submitted because they're fucking filthy.
Yeah, they're horrific.
They're horrific. I just can't do it.
Yeah. No, and if you did, your mother would be very upset with you.
She'd be mad. She'd be a little mad. You know what? She might actually like it, though.
I don't think so, Michael. I think she would be very disappointed. And I'm glad you chose to respect your mother in this situation.
That's exactly what I'm doing, listener and viewers, just because I love my mother. Okay, so the next thing we have to talk about here is the rescissions package that went through Congress. Again, this is codifying everything that the Trump administration wants to do with these Doge cuts, right? Like you couldn't put that in the reconciliation bill because it touched a different part of the budget that didn't qualify for the reconciliation. We talked about this. We talked about this whole thing. But we got it done. It's very, very important that, like, and Speaker Johnson talked about this when he came in here on the show.
Yep.
It's like we're not doing the big, beautiful bill and then we're going to wash our hands of this problem that we have for overspending in Washington. Like, we're going to do things. We're going to do it through this. We're going to do it through the appropriations process. We're going to do it through other reconciliation bills. It's fantastic that they're still on the ball.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, it was very nice last night to tune in to the news and find out that it had passed the Senate, because this administration has worked so hard to deliver on the promises they made during the campaign, or that our great president made during the campaign, to actually start cutting spending. That's exactly what this bill does, and I know there's a lot of it you want to get into, but one of the things it cuts is federal funding for NPR and PBS.
Let's go.
Two left-wing outlets that have for too many years benefited from tax dollars funding what it is they're trying to do, which is propagandize for the left.
Yeah, I think the thing I find most fascinating about this whole discussion on the rescissions package is these Democrats are just like, they're just playing the same playbook over and over and over again. On the big beauty, what do they say? Well, people are going to die.
Yeah.
You know, which is what they've said forever on everything, right? Like net neutrality, as we always say, on net neutrality, like, oh, well, people are going to die if we don't uphold net neutrality. And they say, well, if you don't fund NPR and PBS, well, people are going to die, which seems like a fucking crazy thing to say.
It's insane.
It's an insane thing to say. I think we got to go to that Amy Klobuchar clip, please.
This is completely outrageous. Remember, this is money that was already decided on by a Republican House, a Democratic Senate. It was a bipartisan agreement. And if they can just start to go in there and take away these incredibly important funds, the sky's the limit. So that's my first point to our Republican colleagues. What are you doing? I guess you'll just rubber stamp anything Donald Trump wants. But the second one is, look at what this is for. Just as we've seen these weather disasters, including horrifically in Texas, but the fires in Arizona and the like, in many remote areas, or in states like Florida with hurricane season upon us, they rely on a series of public broadcasting to get alerts out. And when it works well, when you actually have a system set up, it works well. This is not the time to cut back on public radio and public TV.
Unbelievable. You know, the thing that's just so fascinating to me in this is you would think that NPR and PBS require millions, maybe billions of dollars from the taxpayers in order to exist as entities, which of course is not a real thing until you maybe want to claw back some of the money the taxpayer gives them, and they act like everyone's going to die if they don't get this money.
No, that's exactly right. And first of all, these are partisan networks.
Yeah.
Let's not like fall into the trap that they're trying their best to be a public service. And if you need proof, Lee, can you just put up the graphic of the woman who runs NPR? There she is in a Biden cap and a mask campaigning for Joe Biden. Now, this is the same woman who claims over and over again, oh, no, we're nonpartisan. We're nonpartisan. You know the other thing they claim conveniently in times when they're not about to be cut? They often push that only 1% of our funding comes from the federal government.
Oh, I haven't heard that lately.
Dude, they say that
Strange.
they say it as like a point of pride. It's like, oh, we're raising this money. We have corporate partners. We don't care about the government money until their ass is on the line.
Yep.
And this week, thanks to the majority of John Thune and Mike Johnson and the great leadership of President Trump, their ass was finally on the line. And their talking point of only 1% of the money comes from taxpayers suddenly vanished.
Exactly. And this CEO that NPR has, Catherine Marr, I'm sure everyone at this point has already seen all the video of her giving a TED talk being like, independent facts, I don't think that's what's important. They can sometimes prevent us from coming to a consensus. I think it's more important about ideas that we need done. That's like, listen, we don't care about facts. It's about the activism.
Right.
She's wearing a Biden hat right in front of you. What more proof do you need that this is not it's just, taxpayer-funded information?
Dude, I will tell you, it is so offensive in an era when everybody can access whatever information they want thanks to the internet.
Yep.
I mean, you can get Twitter. You could get Blue Sky. You could get anything you want from the internet, and they act like they're the only arbiter of what people are able to see or consume or anything else. Their funding is very interesting, too.
Interesting.
I told you about the 1% amount that they claim only comes from the federal government. I will tell you, according to the NPR website, they say where the rest of their money comes from. They say 36% of their annual budget comes from corporate sponsors. And I got to think that some portion of that also comes from viewers like you and comes from millionaires and billionaires who bequeath their fortunes upon their death to that organization. But this is where it gets interesting to me. The next biggest chunk of their funding comes from program fees that local stations pay back to the national organizations in order to run Morning Edition and Sesame Street or whatever the hell that they're paying for. So here's my question. Is it just that taxpayers are screwing these local stations, or is it that the national organizations are charging fees that are way too high? And if you follow the money, which you always should follow the money.
This is a really good point.
The way it works in public media is that all of us taxpayers, we give our money to the government. The government then appropriates that money through the Corporation for Public Broadcasting to local member stations.
Right.
The local member stations pay fees to NPR and PBS to be able to license
Outrageous,
their content
dude. Out-fucking-rageous.
on the local stations. So if you listen to the message from Amy Klobuchar and Democrats and the national libs at NPR and PBS, if they actually care about these local stations, maybe they should cut their fees.
So they're charging these local affiliates this fee, and they're coming to us hat in hand, being like, you got to raise the money for this whole operation.
That's so insane.
That's exactly right.
Which is insane. And the other thing that pisses me off about the whole, and brought to you by viewers like you.
Right.
No, me.
Right. No.
by mandate.
Bingo.
From the government.
Stolen from my...
Not by my choice.
Stolen from
They
me.
make it act like we all chose as they passed the hat, like we were in church on Sunday, and it came across, and I put the money in.
Right.
It wasn't my fucking choice.
Right.
Fuck you.
Right. And so their talking point is, only 1% comes from the government. We all know in reality, a lot more of it comes from regular people. Oh, you lost your job. You still have to pay taxes.
Yep.
You have to pay the piper. PBS needs their program fee.
I mean, and that's the thing is like, it outrages me. You could be a mechanic living in Wyoming. You could be a farmer living in Arizona. But this lady, Catherine Mars, giving her TED Talks, and she's like, no. You got to give some of your paycheck to me.
Can we put that picture back up of her in the Biden hat?
Yeah.
Because
That's
I
the
think
lady
it's telling.
who demands to have a piece of your paycheck. Every single American in this country,
Sick.
she wants your money.
Sick.
And if you listen to Amy Klobuchar, she's like, oh, what about if there's a weather event? Get the fuck out of here. Like, you see a tornado coming and you're like, you know what? I really need to find out what Steve Inskeep says about it from Washington. Nobody does
No one
that.
told me about this on
It's
All Things
bullshit.
Considered. Wow.
It's bullshit.
Oh, it's crazy. Well, I hope we just save a boatload of money from NPR out of this.
$9 billion.
That's a lot
$9
of
billion.
That's real money.
That's a lot of your money.
People work so hard for what they earn, and they believe in our country, and they follow the rules, so they pay their taxes on an annual basis. Unfortunately, Washington, for too long, has taken that money and used it for what they want.
That's fantastic, dude. Thank you for that deep dive. That was
Good
awesome, dude. That was awesome. So we get that $9 billion. That's our question of the day. It's our question of the day. We get that $9 billion from NPR and PBS. What do we use it for? What do we use it for? You got some great ideas. I want to see them in the comments. You got to like and subscribe. What do we say? Like and subscribe if you wish to.
If you wish to opine.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And we read every single comment. You guys know this. We go through them in an exhaustive way, all of us together, because we want to know what the audience is saying, because the audience is what builds this show.
That's right.
Absolutely. And when we come back, we're going to talk about all your comments about, the Fox deal, Ruthless, the future, and all of these things. We want to answer all of those questions that you have. We've been reading all of them on YouTube. We've got a lot of feedback from the audience, which we love. We're going to get to that right after this.
President Trump's one big beautiful bill is now the law of the land, a fantastic achievement that will kickstart our economy, strengthen immigration enforcement, and unleash American energy. I feel confident saying that no other organization put as much time, effort, and money into making this happen as my good friends at Americans for Prosperity. Listen to this. Americans for Prosperity had 1,500 meetings with Congress, contacted 1 million voters, and held more than 750 community events. And now that the bill is passed, AFP plans to defend those who took tough votes to support the president's agenda. That's the kind of grassroots activism Americans for Prosperity is famous for. As we move on to other important issues like spending restraint, it's good to know AFP and its grassroots army is locked and loaded. Want to join a winning team? Check out AFP at afpvolunteer.com. That's afpvolunteer.com.
Well, when you like and subscribe, you get the chance to opine. And that's what we love about the Ruthless Variety Program and all of you. And just at the top, I want to say thank you. This has been a huge week for this show, and it's not possible without you listening, watching, commenting. And we want to answer all of those questions you might have about the show, the future, all of these sorts of things. And we don't do that unless we can start with the voice.
Yeah, well, so the first one comes from Mochi the Argorist. And Mochi writes, whatever happens, don't let the corporate censor you. Stay honest to your roots, and Smug better not pull any punches.
I'm throwing even more.
Yeah, I've never in my life have I ever seen him pull a punch.
Yeah, never.
Just for that, we're gonna do more punches.
Yeah, it looks like I got to throw more punches.
Yeah, I would not worry about that at all.
Comment 2
comes
from Marty C. Marty C writes, well, there goes the cursing.
Fuck, shit,
Yeah,
ass.
I'd invite you to listen to the previous 50 minutes of the show.
Yeah, Marty, we will fucking stick to every single piece of bullshit that we call out about Democrats and the stupid media. You can count on that.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, so the last comment here is from Pam. Pam says, please keep your editorial independence. Stay ruthless. Pam, I don't think you have to worry about
Yeah.
that.
No, that's exactly right. And Smug has had this point down pat. Though, like, we love our audience so much. Here's one thing that you should know. Every show that you watch, you have some producers. Our show has 1 million producers.
Yes.
Our producers are our audience. These are the people who are giving us the content that we talk about because our audience is the people who are living it. And we try our best, inadequately sometimes, to carry their voice. And I know, Smug, you've talked about how what people get with this deal that we've signed with Fox, which is a huge deal. We are so proud of this. But what they get is more of the content they come to love.
That's the thing, is all the discussions that we had with Fox, what impressed me the most is they said point blank, they're like, we're not going to tell you what to say. We're not going to tell you what to do. We just want you to do more of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not just 2 episodes a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. How about 3 episodes a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Friday? So if you loved what you got, the only difference is you get more of it. You get it the same place you always did. If it's Apple Podcasts, if it's Spotify, if it's YouTube, wherever you already listened or watched, that's where you'll go. And share it with your friends. Get them on board, because now you don't even get just 2 episodes. You get 3. That's what it is. It's just more for you. No other changes.
And just to the listeners and audience, like, we are going to do everything we possibly can to take this show anywhere that will listen, that will bring more people in with all of you. We're doing it on the channel with Fox, promoting the show, doing all of these sorts of things. And, Fox believes in that and wants us to be doing it. And I think it's going to be great for you as a listener and viewer, and it's obviously going to be great for us, and we're just super, super excited about it. But the thing that really heartened, me as we were going through all of this earlier this week was all of the great things that everybody had to say.
Yeah. Yeah, and I will tell you, one of the big ones that stood out to me was the first guest on the Ruthless Variety Program, Senator Tom Cotton, a legend in the United States Senate, and the first guest we ever had on the Ruthless Variety Program. He said, "Yet another blow to standards in journalism."
Yeah, it's true. It's
in
true.
reaction to our deal, he said, "But on a serious note, congrats to the Ruthless podcast team. It's a great program with sharp wit and insights, and I'll keep listening."
Awesome.
I mean, you gotta love Tom Cotton. He wasn't the only one. Chad Wolf, former Homeland Security Secretary under President Trump during his first term, Chad Wolf said, "Great to see the program soaring to new heights. One of the best sources of political analysis out there. Well done, fellas."
Chad Wolf.
It's nice.
Like I always say, hardest name of the game since Dick Armey.
It's great, dude. I mean, you work your whole career in politics like we have, and you're sort of behind the camera until we did this show and everything, and you minimize the thing, and you're not the story and all of that sort of stuff. And so when something like this happens, it just feels different, and that's great. But I just know at the end of the day, like, we are not the thing. The thing is the thing.
Yep.
The audience is the thing.
Yeah.
And so if any of you think we're getting a big head about this, because I think I probably RT'd probably 200 people over the course of this week with great things to say about me, don't worry about that. We're not getting a big head.
I will tell you, one of our great heroes, and I think I'm speaking for all of us in saying this, one of our great heroes in this medium is Rush Limbaugh. Yep. He taught us what we knew. He didn't even know it at the time, but every single day from 12 to 3, he taught us everything we know. And what he always used to say is that he had talent on loan from God. And no one will ever forget that.
Right.
And I will tell you that I feel like our show, as the hottest, most influential podcast in Washington, D.C., has talent on loan from our audience.
That's right.
Our audience is the most important thing that we will ever have. We love you, and you are the reason for this show.
It's true.
That's 100%
It's
right.
absolutely true. I've one more comment I want to read, and this is from Salena Zito.
Oh,
yeah.
Legend.
And this just I kind of teared up a little bit reading it because it just felt really good. The amount of goodwill these guys have earned on social media is a testament to their character and talent, which really was something.
Mm-hmm. Especially from her.
Yeah.
From her.
Incredible book. Incredible book.
We're going to talk about her book. We're going to talk about some stuff. She's going to make some news, by the way. So let's go to that interview. Well, I thought we were having a good week when it comes to media, the Fox deal and all of that sort of stuff. But our next guest keeps us humble. This is a New York Times #1 bestseller, new book out. Salena Zito, how are you?
I'm awesome. How are you? I'm so happy to be with you guys. And also, I'm so proud of what you guys have accomplished.
Thank you.
It's kind of a big deal.
Thank you. And I'm proud of you. This new book, Butler, The Untold Story of the Near Assassination of Donald Trump and the Fight for America's Heartland. This is fantastic.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I think you are the best person in America to write this book for one reason and one reason alone. And I think, obviously, the currency of the realm right now in media is authenticity, like the deal we did with Fox and all of that, and in the podcast election, all of these sort of things. But when I think of journalists and authenticity, I think of you more than anyone else.
Thank you.
Because, there's the stories of you in the Jeep doing hundreds of thousands of miles traveling this country. You're like John Madden, like he used to travel across the country, but it's the way that you learn people. It's the,
Yeah, he made the decision about using his car or train or bus based on he didn't like flying. I don't mind flying. That's not why I do it, though. If I sit in a plane or if I take an interstate or a highway, like a turnpike, right? It takes me past everything that tells the story of what's really going on. So I only take U.S. routes or state routes, sometimes gravel roads where I don't know where they're going. That's always fun. But on my Google Maps, it's always set on options, no highways. So that's how I get wherever I'm going.
Well, and that's how you get the stories, because there's just too many people in media who look at so much of flyover country, as you'd call it, and they study them like zoo animals.
Yeah, I actually call it the middle of somewhere.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, the catchphrase is, oh, they're from the middle of nowhere. I find that so insulting.
Right.
This is America. In my estimation, everywhere is somewhere. And we need to treat people with equal respect wherever they live. And we have a hard time doing that in my profession because the bulk of my profession is located in sort of the super zip codes of this country. That doesn't make them bad, but it does disconnect them from the people, the very people who decide elections. They don't know anyone who owns a gun. They don't know anyone who knows how to fire a gun. They don't know anyone who went to a state school or a trade school or a community college.
Right.
Like I did. And so when, or sits in a pew every Sunday. So they're disconnected from their lives, and that makes it hard for them to write about them in a well-formed way.
Well, you are at the top of your profession. I mean, you are exactly what every journalist should strive to be. And this book is incredible. It reads like a novel. It's almost impossible to imagine that it's actually truth. This actually happened. We all witnessed it happen.
Right.
But you start with a vignette about our first president and his near miss with death. And I wonder if you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So people often say history doesn't repeat itself. Well, it doesn't, but it does. It rhymes, right? You have to think about what would have happened had President Trump died. We don't know who would have been the nominee. There hadn't been a VP picked. And so we would have had possibly a very different election result. And then there's consequences. There would have been no U.S. steel deal. There would have been no Israel-Iran deal, ceasefire. There would have been no annihilation of Iran's nuclear capabilities. There would have been no NATO and everybody paying their fair share. The list goes on and on and on. That have real-life implications. But also, George Washington, he was not far from, in Butler County, was also, had a near miss. He was a lieutenant colonel in the Crown's militia. He had been sent to, which is basically modern-day Erie, it's called Fort LaBeouf, to tell the French to get off our lawn, basically, because there was this sort of struggle between New France and England. And the French commander basically patted him on the back and said, "Go away, little boy." And he did. and he's making his way back to what was called the Forks of the Ohio to Pittsburgh. He's in Butler. A French Indian shoots him from 15 paces away. And if you know anything about guns, you know rifling makes things much easier. Right. There was no rifling in 1754, and misses him. And then, you know, Washington's like, I got to get out of here. He's going to find me, and like takes off in snow and rain and dirt. But just think about this for a second. No George Washington means there's no French and Indian War. Which is the precursor to the Revolution. There's no French and Indian War. The Crown doesn't have debt. They don't tax the colonists. There's no Tea Party. There's no Revolution. There's no General Washington. We don't know what we would look like. So it's important to think about that as we dive into the book.
Yeah. So that historical context is important. I want to talk about the historical context of that moment in Butler for a second. You know, I mean, we do a show that's light and we do a lot of jokes, and, you know, some of them even maybe at Donald Trump's expense, you know, and I remember watching that, and it sort of fundamentally changed my opinion of the man.
Yeah.
And you've talked publicly about, you know, people that you've seen at rallies after that event who put a red MAGA hat on and were like, you know, sometimes Donald Trump gets under my skin,
right?
But I'm putting this hat on because he showed me that day something different. And I wonder, like, you know, did it change your impression of the guy?
Well, I have been a witness to history with him, mainly because I cover him in the Rust Belt, and I cover him in a way that he's very authentic, and see him in a way with people that I don't think people always see.
Right.
And you know, I was a few feet away from him. People can read about that, and why I was where I was that day. I was not supposed to be where I was. He was not supposed to turn his head. There, you know, you have to all, and so when he calls me the next morning, am I allowed to swear?
Absolutely.
Of course you
This
are.
is the internet.
Yes.
Okay. I hope my parents aren't watching.
My parents watch, and I swear all the time.
So he calls me the next morning. I'm with my daughter. My daughter took the cover photo. And he calls me the next morning. He said, Selena, I just want to check. This is Donald J. Trump. Like I don't know, right? I just want to make sure. And I didn't even get to say a word. Like I didn't say a word. Like I didn't even say hi. And he said, I just want to make sure that you're okay, that your daughter Shannon is okay. And I really want to apologize for not doing the interview. And I'm like, because I was supposed to fly to Bedminster with him, and this is the part where I hope my parents close their ears. I said, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And then I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, sir." And he really laughed at me. But that's how the conversation started. I swore like a truck driver, but I'm like, "Sir, you've been shot. I'm pretty okay. We can do the interview another time." He would go on to call me 7 times that day. He talked deeply about faith, about purpose, and I didn't press him. You know, a lot of other reporters would. I don't know that I did right or wrong. It's what felt right to me. And he was going through something. I could tell, and I could tell he needed to work it out with someone who had been there.
Yeah.
And so that's why he kept calling me back. And we kept, you know, why did I turn my head? Do I have a new purpose? Was that the hand of God? Concludes that it is the hand of God. And it has profoundly changed him.
Yeah.
And I see it every time I interview him.
Yeah, and it's, you know, he was so vocal about his change in that moment, immediately after that moment. But I'm wondering if you've noticed ways that change has been sustained in the last 12 months.
I see it a lot. You see some public things with the young boy who has cancer, who wants to be a police officer. You see it in that. You saw with that meaningfulness when he talked to that Ukrainian reporter whose husband's on the front lines, right? And that empathy there.
Right.
But there are even more profound ones that I've seen in private. And I won't use names, but I will tell you I just saw this 2 days ago. And it brought the whole room to tears. There's a photographer that I work with who has photographed President Trump with me dozens of times. And he just found out that his father has a very bad diagnosis. And his father loves Donald Trump. So I slipped a book in my bag. And after the interview, I said, Mr. President, I never ask you anything for anything. but this means, I think, a lot to someone. Would you sign it for him? He said, Zito, of course I will. Like he does.
Yeah.
And so he signs it, and then he stops, and he looks at the photographer. And the photographer is clearly moved. And he goes, I'm going to do one better. Get your video thing going.
I love that.
Yeah.
So great.
Yeah. And he holds up so the photographer holds up his camera, and he sends the most powerful message to this father. And one of the things that he said that I think is so important, he said, you have a good son. I see him. He works hard. He's a grinder. And you know, God always has different plans for us. Don't think this is necessarily the plan for you. And I can't wait to meet you. And then he tells the photographer, make sure it happens. And I looked up, and you know, there's Secret Service guys, and all the staff. Everyone's it's usually pretty stoic, and it's all about business. And I was like, oh my God, there's not a dry eye in the room here.
Just incredible.
Yeah, it was a beautiful moment, and I see moments like that all the time with him. Mark Vogel's mom, the woman that. Whose son was in prison, Western Pennsylvania, from Butler, and just saw that emotional connective tissue between the two of them when she asked him to bring her son home. These are the things we don't see with Trump, and it could be a mindset that he has that I think is important. I asked him that day, the day after, why did you say fight, fight, fight? And he gave me the most surprising answer. He said, I wasn't Donald Trump in that moment. I was a former president. I might be president again. There's an obligation to represent the country in the strongest way. We are about grit. We're about exceptionalism, about getting back up when we get down. And I knew that I needed to show that. It wasn't about me.
Yeah.
And he said, I knew the impact might have on the crowd if I didn't. If I'm taking off with my socks, right? He kept, I could see him. I'm 4 feet away. He's like, God, put my shoes on. I was like, oh my God. But if he would have been carried out of there, think about this.
Yeah, different.
The consequences, right? Or he wouldn't have walked out on his own. What does that image of our country is very, very, very then looked at in a different way. And so that's why he did that. And that's, to me, that's like next level.
It is. And it is a fully American moment.
Yeah.
That
like
nobody,
John Wayne, kind of like, yeah.
It is John Wayne.
Yeah.
It is seared in everybody's minds. They're like, yes, this is exactly what America is about. The guy is down, and yet he is fighting. Like, we talked about this on our July 4 episode. We kind of got emotional about it because the more you think about what that meant for our country in the moment, from a guy who's getting completely attacked every day by the media and every day by Democrats, like it is something that nobody's ever going to forget and that they're going to be talking about forever. In large part because of the way you chronicled it. It's not just stopping with the book. I know that there is a movie in the offing, and I'm wondering if you can tell us anything about that movie.
It's awesome.
Like me, a movie, shampoo girl, a waitress, cafeteria worker. Like I've done every blue collar job, sewage treatment plant.
Yeah. But I maintain
what a hero.
All of those jobs made you better at your current job.
Oh, and
I 100% believe.
All those jobs deserve the utmost respect. They are some of the most grinding jobs I've ever done. So the book, the movie is about about Butler. It's from the book, but it's also about the death of journalism and the importance of shoe leather journalism. And that's weaved throughout the rest of the book. The book doesn't stop at that day; it really begins at that day. But it's in pre-production.
Pre-production. Okay.
Penze is the name of the production company, and they just filmed. I'm going to break this on your show.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to break this on your show. So they just filmed the first the closing segment. I know these movies are like all like a puzzle, right? But they filmed the closing credits.
No way.
And it's my cowboy boots.
Yes.
Because everybody knows. See, I got my boots on.
Yes.
Iconic.
So it's my cowboy boots, getting in my Jeep, beat up Jeep. I mean, I don't even have a gas cap on it because my 2-year-old grandson Rocco ripped it off, who I affectionately call Bam Bam. And
We were all Bam Bam once.
oh my God, it's so embarrassing.
Yeah.
I drive up to the gas station, whatever. So I'm getting in my Jeep. You see my boots, you see the door slam, and I'm taking off from an event. And like I imagine my hair flowing in the wind, right? And it'll show the mileage on my Jeep, which is now at 300,000. My last one had 400,000 miles. And then it pans back to what I'm leaving, and you see those iconic cranes from Butler with the flag flowing, and it pans out to everyone at Butler cheering, and Kid Rock is singing "Born Free."
What
Unbelievable.
What a great finish. I mean,
man.
what a great finish. Is it? So will this be a documentary style movie, or this is
a
actually
movie.
a movie?
It's a film, and the reason we chose to have it end that way because the hope is with journalism continues on, right? Continues on, maybe in a way that I do it. Not that I'm perfect, but I think we need to be better at being more rooted to the people that we cover. It helps us be more respectful and understand them and not treat them like zoo animals.
Right.
62% of the people that live in Pennsylvania do not have a college education.
Yeah.
And they're grinding it out and they're successful. You got to understand those people.
So I have a question about that, and I'm curious your opinion of this. Is I feel like it used to be in D.C. or New York that people worked their way up through a farm system where they actually were plugged into a local community at a community newspaper where they did that leather journalism, right?
Right.
It now seems like if you have the right credential from Columbia University and you did the right internship in Washington, D.C., and then suddenly you're at Washington Post or you're at the New York Times, that's the problem.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the problem with all of our cultural curators.
Yeah.
The people that curate what we see on television, what we see in the news, what we see in Hollywood, institutions, academia. You go right from an Ivy League school, and there's nothing wrong with attending an Ivy League school. However, you go right into these businesses, and you don't know anyone that you're selling your product to. We need to get started on
But there
Bud
used to
Light.
be a kid who could be from the Ohio
Yeah.
Dispatch who would
Yeah.
end
Right.
up at the Washington
Yeah.
Post, right? And
Right.
they would bring all of those experiences from the middle of the country to how their coverage is shaped. And I
Yeah.
feel like we lose that a little bit.
We've lost that a lot.
Yeah.
And we need more of that. But there are news deserts everywhere. You know that.
Yeah.
You've seen it through your family experience. And every time a family newspaper is bought out by a VC who lives in, I don't know, Louet, LA, they don't care about local connectivity to what their product is. They just care about how much revenue, how many clicks are we getting.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So we've talked a lot about Donald Trump, and obviously this book is mainly about him. I'm curious. Is there a vignette that sticks out to you about a regular person during all of this, writing of this book that really stands out that you think about day to day?
It's actually as simple as seeing this suburban mom. Her name is Chrissy. I won't say her last name, and she's in the book. And Chrissy, college educated. Best neighborhood, right? Kids in the suburban schools, and it's 2 days after the president is shot, and I never knew what her political leanings were. She's a neighbor, and I see her at my granddaughter's soccer game, and she has a Trump hat on, and that wasn't typical of her to be outstanding about. I would have maybe guessed, giving her qualifications, college educated suburban mom, right? And she had this Trump hat on, and I said, I would have never calculated that. And she said, yeah, of course. I mean, family is essential to me. Faith is essential to me. My children's education is essential to me, and I'm very patriotic. So strength in our country being strong. 2 days ago, I would have been afraid to put this hat on. But if he can fucking take a bullet for me, I can wear a fucking hat. And I was like, okay, everything's changed.
That's it.
It was that simple.
That's it right there.
Yeah, I love that so much, and I love that you came in and you spent more time with us than we had. You were the #1 best-selling author on the New York Times list.
Yeah, buy this book.
Without question. This book. Buy it now.
Buy it now. We want it #1 for as long as it can be #1.
Yeah, I mean, I had to sacrifice my hair to get big. You know, remember in Friends when Monica says it's the humidity? Right?
Thank you so much for joining
Thank you guys
us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
What a treasure to have Salena Zito, #1 on the New York Times bestseller list, with us here on the Variety Program today. And I just absolutely love her story.
I do.
And so does every person who reads everything she writes. She's the antithesis of these elitist, Brooklyn-based, better-than-you journos who are always shitting on normal people. And everybody calls them like, oh, it's just flyover country. Oh, you know, we talk about in those terms too. No. These are the normal people. Yep. Okay? The Brooklyn elitists, they're not normal. Even though they have the pen, I just want to be very clear, they are far from normal.
And they're doing a movie now.
Oh, it's so good.
They're doing a movie. How great is that? It's fantastic. She made some news in there, which I absolutely love. I think it's fantastic. Are you guys ready for some variety?
Can't wait, buddy.
Always.
We have great variety. I think it's going to be a very healthy debate here on the Ruthless Variety Program. There's this astronomer CEO caught on camera with his HR chief at a Coldplay concert in Boston.
Oh, boy. HR is never good.
Yeah, the pair was seen rushing to cover their faces as the Jumbotron panned to them during the Coldplay concert. Let's go to that clip, please.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two.
Oh, no.
Come on, you're okay?
Oh, no.
Either they're having an affair or they're just very sharp.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
So
turns out they weren't shy.
Yeah, in case you didn't hear what Chris Martin, the frontman there of Coldplay, said, he said, "Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're very shy."
Oh, man.
Rough. Rough deal. Okay, this is a very important segment for the Ruthless Variety Program, obviously. But it touches culture in a way that I don't think we're ready to handle.
I should bring someone in.
I think it requires us bringing in an expert in culture. Old OGs of the program will understand what this is. We got to bring in Hollywood Hen.
With the theme song, too.
Yes.
What a
So
throwback.
glad to be back.
Isn't this great?
It is great. It's so exciting. What a great week.
What a great week.
I know. I'm so proud of everyone.
Well, first of all,
you,
I have to say, none of this would be possible without you, Lee, the whole team. You are a incredible part of this entire operation. None of this would happen without you. You haven't been here on the show in a while.
Yeah.
But the reason is, culture is your thing.
Culture is my thing. Yes. This is what I study.
Yes.
On a day-to-day basis.
And it was Hollywood Hen who brought it to all of our attention this morning.
Yes.
Yeah, you were very active in the Slack.
I was very active. Because, okay, I know it's obviously adultery is a serious issue. It's very sad at its core, but I could not get enough of this content.
Yes.
Watching him, he didn't even turn around. He sunk down like an elevator.
That was a move.
It was like he was miming an elevator. And I was like, he's just watching his bank account just go down.
Oh, man.
So that's the thing is, there's so much to think about this entire situation. What's the most embarrassing part? Is it being on the Jumbotron? Everyone knowing. So, like, she's the employee, and apparently the wife also works.
She's the HR chief, which is which is just a great tidbit. Mm-hmm. The person he was having an affair with was the HR chief.
So I mean, like, is it more embarrassing to get caught like that, or that like you're losing half your net worth at a Coldplay concert? Like, I don't think anyone has taken an L that hard, like in history.
Somebody tweeted, "This is what you get when you go to a Coldplay concert."
Oh my God!
Chris Martin calling that out so accurately.
That was insane.
I was like, he knows.
That's the thing.
That's not where my mind would have gone.
Was he married to that actress lady?
He was married to Gwyneth Paltrow. They consciously uncoupled or whatever.
That was that weird divorce that they had.
Wait. What is that? You have to give me a little more color there.
When,
what is that?
When Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin announced their divorce, however many years ago, instead of just being like, we're separating and going our ways,
right.
Please respect our privacy. They're like, we've made the decision to consciously uncouple.
That's so fucking weird.
And it's not his decision to do that.
Weird.
That's not his decision.
Well, I hope not.
Hollywood is full of sickos. Let's be serious.
But the how quickly this went viral. So this all happens. Then all these amazing internet sleuths put it on TikTok or wherever. They find his wife, start flooding her page to make sure she's aware that her husband's having an affair.
First off, stop snitching. Like, why are you doing this?
What?
No, I love the snitching. I love it so much. I thought watching him, I was like, that is a coward, just like going down.
Hold on.
If you're gonna be in an affair, be like, yeah, here I am. And he was so busted and so cowardly, and I loved it.
I can see Smug gearing up for something.
I am.
And what I want to do before you do that,
I need you to.
I want you to get to graphic 6, please. Here, this is the wife who has already removed her last name from social media accounts.
And now I think she might have taken it down.
So this is the thing. So here's the thing. Her first instinct is to like go on Facebook and change her last name.
You don't know her first instinct.
That's her first instinct because that's what immediately happened.
Imagine how many mentioned things.
Here's the thing: is if she's going on there and being super dramatic about this for like the online clout. Do you know what that screams to me? Abusive.
What?
Unbelievable.
She's breaking this family up for online
She's
clout
breaking it up
in front of everybody.
He broke it up.
He broke it up.
If this was actually her feeling like she'd been like hurt and wounded, you'd like
Unreal.
make your shit private,
so
right? You would disappear. She's like, I'm gonna make this about me. Chances are, here's the thing: is this doesn't happen in a vacuum.
Outrageous.
This is, if I had to guess, I have nothing to base this on. But I mean, a lot of guys, I bet you could probably believe me. She sounds like a kind of an abusive lady who's like, he's a CEO of a startup. He's probably out there grinding, right?
Well, he's
and
grinding.
Like,
we saw him grinding.
We saw him grinding.
Any chance she gets, she makes a story about her, right?
What?
So any edit to her profile,
problems.
any edit, even an edit or taking down, somehow that's chasing more clout?
Her changing her last name to like her maiden name or whatever is like, I'm out here trying to make a statement. Make your profile private, But no, it had to be about her. It had to be about her.
It kind of became about her when everybody started tagging her and everything.
And here's the other thing. If it was just like a normal affair thing, right? You're not like hanging out listening to Coldplay with this girl. It's not like, just like a wham bam, thank you ma'am kind of a situation. He clearly felt like he was in a place where he's got an abusive wife at home.
What?
What are you talking about, Smug?
Bro, you can't
parody.
You can't just say.
And obviously no one thinks that.
No one thinks that. You can't just say that.
We got to hear both sides of this story. 100%.
I think the side of the story is that both
We're gonna
of these
find out
people
things about her.
are creeps. I think the astronomer CEO
I mean,
and
it's
his
the head of HR,
person.
so if HR says it's okay.
I don't know about that, Smug.
I don't even know where to take this segment.
There is nowhere to take this because it's just.
That's your defense, bro. HR said it was cool.
You think that's what he said to his wife?
That's what I would say. I would say nothing to her, man. I'd lawyer up, bro. Lawyer up. Hit the gym. Say HR made it okay.
Hit the gym.
Oh my gosh. I just it'll be interesting to see how this plays out now over the next, days and weeks and see where it goes.
Social media has really changed society.
These people are famous now, whether they like it or not. They're in it for the rest of their lives.
That's right.
Well, I'm with the wife here with the changing of the
Yeah,
whatever.
me too. I would have taken my
we're gonna
stuff
find
down.
out more info. We're gonna
Right.
find out more
If
info.
someone were hammering me with all of these clips about my husband cheating on me, I think I'd remove my profile.
Right.
Well,
I think that's a very natural
it's the way
step.
the the internet works. Is the initial like story and
You're
narrative
just
comes
saying that
out,
she's
and then
making
2
it
days later
continue.
you find out, oh, actually the other person was like a monster.
How could she possibly deserve this?
Yeah.
We never know. We'll probably find out.
No.
HR said it was okay.
Ridiculous.
HR said it was okay. Is a good one.
HR.
Well, I would just like to say I'm the HR here. I'm the HR here.
You
so
are.
does that mean that I get to dictate what's
yes.
okay?
Pretty
much. Okay, that's
Yes.
good to know.
Exactly.
This is very good to know.
I think that's good to know.
Yeah.
I would also note if I was on the Jumbotron at Coldplay, I might hide that way just out of embarrassment for being at Coldplay.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair too.
Okay. All right. So we have something else here, and I think this is important. I think it's important context for the cultural moment in which we are living, and that is Shane Gillis at the ESPYs the other night.
So good.
He did, I think, an absolute banger job of hosting the thing, and he got a lot of hate online from humorless, shrill people on the internet who hate comedy and hate all of us, and I'm very glad that they hate him because I think he's very, very, very funny. But he did some really great bits where, he did that thing that everybody does at an award show where, like, you're hosting and you got the mic and you're like, hey, so-and-so in the audience, so-and-so in the audience. And all that really is a setup for a bit to be able to, like, you got to poke fun at them, right? Like, that's the whole thing. Hosting an award show is like the whole monologue is basically like crowd work for a comedian, where you call out people's names and that sort of stuff. And he did that, and it was fucking hilarious. I don't know if you guys watched the whole thing, but it was hilarious. There's two clips in particular that I want to highlight because I think they're instructive to the freak out that we saw on the liberal left in media. Let's play clip number 6 first.
Four-time WNBA All-Star Brittany Hicks is here. Give it up for Brittany, everybody. I'm joking around. That's my friend's wife. I knew none of you knew WNBA players. That's crazy. You clap for that.
It's crazy you clap for that.
That's amazing.
Amazing.
You know what I love about this, and Shane is the best in the business at it, and it's the way Donald Trump does politics. He does comedy, and that is breaking the fourth wall with his comedy, and where it's like the joke isn't the joke is the reaction of the joke, and so he can say, I made you look like a fucking fool.
Yep.
Which you did very well there, yes.
But it tells us a higher thing, right? Like the joke isn't the joke. The joke is you're acting like the WNBA is this thing you all care about, and it's a fucking lie.
Yep.
It's obviously a lie. And the woke left and the media and the woke liberal sports people at ESPN have convinced you that you have to seal clap your hands and pretend you know who this person is.
Yeah.
And Shane's there to tell you, I know you're a fucking fraud.
Yeah. And it's brilliant because when they all clap and they all laugh, he locks them in, and it's not like you can say, oh, how dare he, because they're all clapping and laughing.
Right.
It really front runs the bullshit. You make a great point about the reaction being the greatest part of that.
The reaction is the key thing because it's like now yous can't leave.
Yeah.
Because you bought into it. You bought into the thing, the setup that I did.
Right.
And now I get to make fun of you.
Yeah.
And you can't attack me, Shane Gillis, as being the comedian.
Right.
Because you did something way more offensive.
Right. And it's objectively funny. It is funny. The guy is so funny. And I will never for the life of me understand is why Saturday Night Live let him go. You remember this. We talked about this.
Yeah.
HR at Saturday Night Live let him go. And he's obviously taken the internet by storm because the guy is naturally hilarious. And you think, what's happened to Saturday Night Live? We've talked over and over again about how great Saturday Night Live was in the 90s and the early 2000s, and then fell off the face of the earth for some reason. And you wonder where it went. It went there.
Yep.
Exactly.
Shane Gillis wasn't on it. If he was on Saturday Night Live, we'd still be talking about it. But nobody mentions the show since he was let go.
Yeah.
Exactly right. I mean, like Phil Hartman, right? You think of the sort of stuff that Norm Macdonald would do. If Norm or Phil Hartman did some of the bits that Shane does, they'd be like, you know, obviously they were on SNL, but it was the best. He does it, and they canceled them. But the whole world, and we talked about this with Salena Zito and everything, and I think it reflects some of the stuff that we're doing with Fox and everything. It's like there is a premium right now in this cultural moment on authenticity. Salena Zito has it. We have it. Shane has it. Shane has it in fucking spades. That guy just talks observational humor, you know, and he just does comedy from a perspective of a person who's like, nothing is going to be off limits. It's fantastic.
He's also funny like your friends are funny.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
He's funny like you guys are funny, like other people are funny, and I think it hits.
It's the can you believe this shit sort of funny.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's natural.
Yeah.
All of us, every single person in this room, every single person watching him has sat in a classroom for at least 12 years of their lives, kindergarten through to, I guess, 13 years of their lives. Everybody knows the people who sat in the back, and I think we know these kind of people pretty well. The people who sat in the back and just made jokes. The teacher would get mad at them. The teacher says something. Everybody starts laughing at what the people in the back are saying. And they're not like coming up with bits that are like well written and rehearsed. They're just reacting to life.
Yeah.
Right.
And
good.
like you can relate to that. Everybody can relate to that. It's funny.
Absolutely. And you should feel comfortable to push the envelope a little bit, because like being a little transgressive is what makes comedy comedy. It's what we do on our show. It's what Shane does. And this next clip is going to be, you're going to love this, Smug.
We'll see about this one. When Caitlin Clark retires from the WNBA, she's going to work at a Waffle House so she can continue doing what she loves most, fist fighting black women.
Oh my God.
It's good because it recognizes the reality of all the clips that we've all seen on Twitter about how she gets manhandled in the league, right?
And it's like I've said before, and when we were in New York, we ran into people and they're like, I agree with Smug's take. I'm happy every time she gets her ass kicked because she went woke. She went woke. She put out that like statement in an interview and she was like, oh, I fully recognize that I have privilege and that I wouldn't be able to have this if it were not for the black women who were trailblazers for me. You got that job because you're good at shooting.
Yeah.
That's why you got that job. You're good at playing ball. Play ball and be proud of what you can do. Don't try to like minimize yourself because like the woke, once you bow down to the woke mob, they will never stop letting you bow down. And you're getting your ass kicked again and again and again. I've
sort of come around to this, Smug. Like I didn't like it just because I'd seen all the video and it was clearly fucked up that she was getting targeted by all these people. And I do feel bad for her. And maybe that's my bias as being a guy from Indiana and I want the Fever to do well. I love that Caitlin Clark is doing great there.
I want to break the fever of wokeness, man. She's got to keep getting her ass kicked until she takes it back. She used to go up there with like a MAGA hat and be like, I'm done with you. I'm going to dunk on all of you, even though women can't dunk in the WNBA.
Also, let's be honest, none of us are watching the WNBA.
That's right.
Myself. I mean, I think she's a great athlete, but I'm not watching the WNBA.
Hollywood Hen, thank you. You are the voice of the people.
That's my contribution.
Hollywood Hen, you're always the voice of the people. I'm so glad you were able to join us for Variety.
Thanks for having me back on, and congratulations on your big week.
Thank you so much.
When there's the E! True Hollywood story, I hope that they come to me first for all of the interviews.
You're going to be
behind the scenes.
You're going to be the whole interview.
That's right.
It's just going to be you to camera and then us fucking things up.
It's going to be great.
Guys, I think this was a great episode. I think it was a banger.
Absolute banger of an episode. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, Salena Zito, and thank you so much to our listeners, new and old. And if you have not yet, subscribe and like the YouTube because it's more fun in video. Until next time, minions, keep the faith, hold the line, and own the libs. We'll see you Tuesday. Stay ruthless.